Hello friends. Today in this video, I am going to be telling the story of Season 2 of the Netflix murder mystery show Elite. I have done Season 1 already if you want to check that one out before watching this one, and I will link that video in the description below. I will also link the individual episode timestamps if you just want to recap a single episode. Let's get it started. Episode 1. 20 Hours Missing. To give a quick recap of Season 1, Marina was murdered by Polo, and then Polo and Christian helped cover up her murder and Nano was arrested for her murder. The season closed with Nano's brother, Samuel, begging Christian to help him clear his brother's name. This season starts off mysterious as the police are 20 hours into a missing persons case that we do not know who of yet. The story then jumps back 3 months using the 2 timeline format that was used in the first season. Marina's family has left town to get away from the hurt they experienced, and there is already a new girl, Rebecca, living in her house. A new school year is starting as well. Once at school, Guzman hits Samuel and tells everyone they are either on his side or Samuel's side. Guzman is still under the impression Nano killed his sister, even though it was really his best friend, Polo. Guzman also convinced Nadia's dad to let her continue at their school, but he is supposed to stay away from her. Omar arrives to his house one day to see the business has been wrecked and his father is injured on the floor. A huge party is thrown to kick off the school year. At the party is Valerio, Lucretia's stepbrother who is living in town now. Nadia finds out what happened to her father, so she heads to the hospital to check on him. Christian is still struggling with knowing Marina's real killer, and when he leaves the party, he is ran over by a car on his bike. The following day, Samuel and Carla go to the hospital to check on him and run into Nadia, who is there for her father. Carla is freaked Christian is going to spill the beans. Carla told her dad everything, so her father wants to make sure Christian doesn't talk either. Christian even whispers to Carla that she is going down sooner or later. The episode closes with a flash forward, and we learn the person that went missing was Samuel. Episode 2. 34 Hours Missing. Samuel thinks Carla knows more about Marina's death than she is letting on, and he tells this to Rebecca, who he has began a friendship with. Nadia's father returns home from the hospital, and Guzman continues to mourn his deceased sister. A new girl at school we meet is Cayetana, who Lucretia seems jealous of. Carla tells Polo she believes someone tried killing Christian, and it wasn't just any old biking accident. Carla is starting to feel guilty helping Polo cover up the murder. Samuel has been trying to figure out a way to get close to Carla because he feels if he does that, she will open up to him and tell him the truth. Guzman and Valerio party it up together to help Guzman get Marina's death out of his mind, but miss Marina's service in doing so. Samuel even shows up at the funeral, but just to talk with Carla. Back to the party where Guzman has gotten completely wasted and Lucretia gets jealous when she sees Valerio flirting with Cayetana. Lucretia and Valerio have some weird step-sibling fetish with each other and have hooked up in the past. Jump back to Samuel, who is having drinks at a bar with Carla after the funeral. Samuel tries bringing up Marina, but she just diverts his attention and they hook up in the bathroom. The following morning, Guzman has a heart-to-heart with Ander and tells him he doesn't actually believe Nano killed Marina and the real murderer is walking free. A flash forward then shows the police continuing to look for Samuel around town and interviewing many people. Guzman implies Samuel skipped town with money he got from the blackmail in Season 1. After Carla is done with her interview, we can tell she is very distressed afterwards, like she knows something. When Lou approaches her, Carla tells her Samuel isn't missing, he's dead. Episode 3. 36 Hours Missing. The timer is getting closer and closer to 48 hours missing, and as many of us know, after 48 hours, the chances of finding the person alive is very slim. We see that Cayetana doesn't come from a rich family like the other students, as her mom is a janitor at the school, but Cayetana wants everyone to think she is rich to fit in. At school, Samuel asks Carla about their conversation and plays it off and acts like she doesn't know anything. Samuel devises a plan to steal Carla's phone and see if any evidence is on it. Polo starts hallucinating things out of guilt, and Guzman comforts him, not realizing he is comforting his sister's killer. We also see that Polo and Ander hooked up the night prior at the party, and Ander feels bad about cheating on Omar. Samuel visits Nano in jail, and Nano tells him to not get too involved as he doesn't want anything happening to Samuel like Christian. After leaving the prison, Samuel heads over to Rebecca's house, and they chat it up with each other. Rebecca comes from a very wealthy family, and Rebecca's mother even offers Samuel a job making good money which could pay for a good lawyer for Nano. Everyone heads to the bar that night where Christian is going to try and steal Carla's phone. Rebecca makes a scene, and right after Samuel gets his hands on Carla's phone, Guzman catches him red-handed. Carla then takes Samuel to the bathroom to talk privately. She claims innocence, and they kiss once again. Nadia and Guzman talk as well, and they end up kissing for the first time. Polo gets really sick after not taking his medicine, and he turns green and Ander takes him home. Omar's dad kicks him out of the house when he learns Omar and Ander kissed at the party. Ander took Polo home, and Polo confesses to killing Marina. After Carla and Samuel hook up and she is sleeping, Carla gets a call from Polo saying he couldn't hold in the secret anymore, so Samuel knows they're hiding something. Episode 4. 59 Hours Missing. This episode begins with Nadia have a sexual fantasy about Guzman, and she's contemplating doing the deed with him. At school, Ander confronts Polo and is pissed that he told him the truth because he wants to do the right thing, but also doesn't want to turn in a close friend. Ander tells Polo he has 24 hours to tell Guzman the truth, or he is going to. Ander then tells Samuel he believes Nano is innocent as well, but doesn't tell him Polo did it. Carla has to calm Polo down and she seduces him and sees Samuel watching. Carla pleasures Polo while also telling him not to bring her down with him, and he needs to turn himself in. Polo goes over to Guzman's house, but is unable to bear the truth on him. At school the next day, Polo tries drowning himself, but Cayetana saves his life. Cayetana starts developing a crush on him after the incident. Guzman knows something is going on with Polo, but when he asks Ander about it, Ander says he doesn't know what it is. These kids go to the club quite a bit, and they all go once again that night, where we learn Rebecca has a crush on Samuel, but is afraid to tell him. While she is at the club, Samuel is hanging out with Carla. They are starting to develop feelings for one another. Ander goes over to Polo's house to ask him why he hasn't told Guzman yet. Ander said the least Polo could do is bail Nano out of jail since he is wrongfully in there. Samuel receives a package in the mail, and when he opens it, it is a shit ton of money anonymously sent to him. The flash forward is the police asking Polo some questions and wondering if he is involved anyway. The police know Samuel thought Polo killed Marina, but Polo denies such an accusation. To close the episode out, everyone is at school when Nano arrives and Guzman completely loses his mind and has to be held back. Samuel bailed Nano out with the money he received. Episode 5. 63 Hours Missing. Guzman tries attacking Nano, but Samuel gets involved and tells Nano to leave immediately. And of course, the only way these students get their minds off of things is to throw a Halloween party. Ander tells Polo he did the right thing, but now the real right thing to do is to tell the police and Guzman the truth. At their house, Nano confronts Samuel about the money and what he did to get all of the bail money, and Samuel tells him not to worry about it. Nano tells him the last thing he wants to do is get caught up in owing bad people money. Polo agrees to go with Cayetana to the party together. Everyone gets all dressed up in their costumes and head to the party except Nadia, who is at the store working. At the party, Guzman finally officially breaks up with Lucrecia so he can be with Nadia, and she doesn't take it too well. Now Lucrecia can be with her brother, right? Rebecca pulls Cayetana aside and tells her she knows that her mom is the janitor and she isn't rich, and Kaya begs Rebecca to not tell anyone. Nano arrives at the party in a Jason Voorhees mask, and he pulls Rebecca aside to talk to her and tells her to not give Samuel any more money. Samuel then arrives at the party and talks with Carla asking who sent the money, and she said it wasn't her family. He thinks whoever sent it was the one who is responsible for Marina's death, and they're trying to buy their way out of it. Guzman arrives at the shop and he tells Nadia he broke up with Lucrecia and wants to be with her, but she said it's just not possible with her family and their values. Guzman then receives a message that Nano has been spotted at the party, so Guzman heads back. Ander and Polo argue outside once again. Samuel walks in on siblings Lou and Valerio hooking up. Outside of the party, Nano tells Carla he knows she is hiding something about Marina until Samuel beats Nano to a pulp, almost to the point of killing him. The episode closes with everyone explaining this to the detective in the future. Episode 6. 66 Hours Missing. This one opens up with Guzman confronting Nano in the street, and Guzman keys Nano's car, but says he knows Nano won't touch him. Nano says it wasn't him who killed Marina, and Guzman deep down knows it. At school the following Monday, Lou asks Samuel not to tell anyone about what he saw with her and Valerio doing, and he says he doesn't care enough to tell. Ander is still mad Polo hasn't told the truth yet. Lucrecia is still but hurt about Guzman breaking up with her, so she goes to Nadia and tells her she knows the secret about her and Guzman having sex, and she better stop seeing him or Lou will tell Nadia's parents and they will disown her like they have Omar. At Samuel's house, he and Rebecca do some more investigating and come to the realization that Christian and Polo may know what really happened to Marina. Samuel shows this to Nano, but Nano says it doesn't prove anything and he may just leave the country. Samuel then goes for the big one, and he tells Guzman that he believes Polo and Christian know the truth about who killed Marina. Guzman doesn't buy it, and they get in trouble for fighting once again, and Guzman gets suspended for the following 2 days. Before he leaves, he talks with Polo about what Samuel said, and Polo tells him Sam is crazy and he knows nothing. Samuel meets up with Carla and asks her who put Christian in the hospital, but Carla says she doesn't know once again. She knows he is getting closer and closer though. Nano then goes to talk to Marina's mother, and he tells her he loved Marina and would never hurt her, which is the truth. Cayetana tells Polo how she is really poor, and he says that doesn't matter, and he kisses her for being there for him through this tough time. Cayetana doesn't know Polo is a murderer though. A flash forward shows Guzman leaving an interview with the detective and smiling as he walks away, thinking he got away with something. Another cut back to before Samuel went missing. Samuel sees that Nano left town. Samuel is sitting outside when Guzman shows up at his door, and Samuel plays him a recording of Carla and Polo talking. Episode 7. 84 hours missing. After Samuel shows the recording to Guzman, he takes it into the police station to try and clear Nano's name, but they can't verify it and can't use it as evidence. It also doesn't help that Nano left town, which makes him look 1,000 times more guilty. The news that Samuel went to the cops with the recording makes it back to Carla's dad, and he asks Carla what she said, and she has no idea. He says it obviously wasn't enough if it didn't clear Nano's name. Guzman meets with Ander and Polo for lunch, and he tells them what Samuel showed him, but Polo just brushes it off as a deep fake. Ander's sitting there looking uncomfortable the whole time, knowing the truth. Guzman is trying to read Polo to tell if he is telling the truth or not. Carla confronts Samuel about the recording, and they decide to end their fling. At school the next day, Nadia and Guzman hook up in the locker room, but don't realize that Valerio filmed the whole thing like a creep. He then sends the video to Lucrecia. Ander begs Polo to tell Guzman the truth, but Polo says there is no point now that Nano has left town, so no one has to go down for Marina's murder now, and Ander doesn't like this solution. Everyone attends a charity event that Cayetana is throwing to make money to stay in school because her mom lost her janitor job. Lucrecia learns that she is a fraud and is using this charity event for her own personal gain. Samuel then arrives to the party, and Carla's dad is upset he is there. Guzman is also starting to think Samuel was telling the truth and Polo is guilty of something. Lucrecia decides to get on stage at the party, and she tells everyone how much of a fraud Cayetana is and that she is poor and she threw this party to use the funds for herself, not charity as everyone thought. She also outs Guzman for sleeping with Nadia and Samuel for sleeping with Carla. She then posts the video of Guzman and Nadia hooking up on social media for the world to see. Guzman then approaches Ander and begs him to tell the truth, but Ander looks him in the eye and tells him Polo is innocent. Lied directly to him. The episode closes with Samuel riding his bike home with someone following him. Episode 8. 0 hours missing. Season finale. This finale starts out with Samuel running through the woods trying to get away from whoever is following him. At school the next day, Guzman is embarrassed and feels horrible for Nadia now that everyone knows, and everyone also learns that Samuel is missing. Valerio is upset with Lucrecia for sharing the video, and it was supposed to be shared with him in private. Cayetana is also embarrassed at school now that everyone knows the truth about her and her family. The police are hard on the hunt for Samuel and are at the school asking everyone questions, just like we have seen throughout the season. Rebecca learns from her mother that they believe they are responsible for Samuel's disappearance because he was doing deliveries for her and her men. But when he stopped, they went after him, and now he's gone. Rebecca feels terrible for bringing him into this. Polo tells Cayetana he talked with his parents, and she can stay enrolled at the school, and they will pay for her education, and he got her mom her job back. At dinner that night, Valerio tells their father about her and Lucrecia hooking up every now and then, and he is disgusted. They are half-siblings. Nadia also has to explain to her father about the sex tape and how she really messed up, and he comforts her telling her everyone makes mistakes. A lot differently than he handled Omar's relationship issues. A few more dots are connected in regards to Samuel's disappearance, and it is shown Guzman texted him that night that he believed him about Polo killing Marina. They met at Marina's grave, and Samuel was all beaten up, but definitely not dead like Carla thought. The two men that were chasing him were Rebecca's mom's men, but he got away, and then Guzman took him to his grandparents' home to get cleaned up. They then planned the whole rouse, hoping Carla missing him would get her to tell the truth. He knew Carla was falling for him. The guilt really starts to get to Carla as the days go by that Samuel is missing. Carla speaks with the detective in charge and thinks Samuel's disappearance is related to Marina's death, and she knew the truth this whole time. As this is going on, Polo tells Cayetana the truth as well. The police then arrest Polo after Carla tells them everything. Guzman is super pissed at Ander for hiding the truth this whole time. Samuel then appears at the police station and said he was out of town visiting family and not missing. A few weeks pass and everyone is back at school. There still isn't any physical evidence Polo is responsible because the murder weapon is still at large. All they have is Carla's testimony. We also learn that Cayetana got the trophy out of the pond and took it somewhere else so only she knows where it is. The season ends with Polo back at school as there wasn't enough evidence to hold him. And that is it for Season 2 of Elite. We'll do the following seasons in the coming videos, so I hope you're able to check those ones out as well. Thanks for watching.